Good evening, students. Welcome to one more session of your WOC, that is your World of Chemistry NEET Abhyas series. Right, you all know, students, I have already done the series 1 and series 2 also. So hope you have shared it with other friends also, so that it will be very helpful for you all. Today we'll be doing again, that is the NEET Abhyas series 3. So basically in this I'll be discussing different concepts of inorganic chemistry, where these are the short questions of S block elements. Okay, so the S block, both the alkali metals and the alkaline earth metals, what are the short questions? And compulsory, there are a lot of tricks also involved in this particular session. So please watch it till the end, and I'll be adding the tricks also which will follow after these questions. Yes, students, all the best for the exam, as the dates are already declared. Don't worry, don't panic. Only thing is, have confidence in yourself. Right, students? So let us start off. We'll read the question, we'll mark the option, and we'll also see what trick should I remember while solving the question. Yes, students? Yes, let us start off. So these are the short questions of S block elements, both the alkali metals and alkaline earth metals, and it also involves certain, as I said, tricks. Okay, let us read the question first. So what did they say? They said here, they asked me the question, which of the following has largest size? They have given option A, sodium atom, sodium cation, sodium anion, and can't be predicted. So basically simple as that. So we very well know cation is formed when there is loss of electron. That means when the electron is lost, the size automatically decreases, isn't it? Means the number of shells, one electron is lost from the outermost shell, the particular size decreases. But when it is an anion formation, we very well know during anion, yes, anion formation, that means it's going to accept an electron. Suppose if I take sodium, atomic number 11 plus 1 electron 12, isn't it? So what happens? There is expansion of number of shells. So when there is expansion of number of cells, obviously the answer is anion, always Na minus. So what should I remember? Cations lose electrons, correct, and become smaller. What do anions do? Anion add electrons and they become larger in size, correct? No, accepting electron is nothing but anion. So here this option, let us take some more examples. Suppose if they have given options, different options like O minus 2 is there. If they say Na plus is here, then they say F minus is here. Now you only tell me which is a maximum of bigger anion, O minus 2. So O minus 2 will be larger in size than F minus, larger in size than Na plus. So this is how you need to see. Larger the anionic size, more is its larger the size. On anionic charge, more is the size. Okay, let us come to the next one. Suppose they have given you a certain example like N minus 3, aluminium plus 3, Mg plus 2. Now you only see which one is the larger, N minus 3, because it is an anion. Then comes magnesium. Then comes aluminium, because it has lost 3 electrons. More smaller than magnesium, isn't it? Yes. So the order is N minus 3 greater than magnesium plus 2 greater than aluminium plus 3. Perfect. Okay. Let us see one more. Suppose they have asked you to find the sizes between H plus, H and H minus. You only tell me, students, what is that? Anion is always larger. So anion larger. Then comes your normal atom, because nothing is lost, and the least is cation. So you should remember, concentrate always, anion is larger in size, correct? No, anion is larger than size. Then comes the atom which we have seen here, and then comes the cation, correct? Now let us come and see the next question. What do we have in our next in the series? Okay, let us read this question. These are short questions, students. So let me push my page. Okay, right. So here in this particular question, it is given ionization potential of sodium would be numerically same as, right? So they are asking numerically which will have a same ionization, means which along with these. They have given 4 options: electron affinity value, electronegativity, electron affinity of helium, or ionization potential of magnesium. So basically they are asking the ionization potential of sodium will be similar, means in numbers will be similar to which one? Okay, so basically what is ionization potential? It's nothing but the amount of energy required to remove an electron. Suppose from the outermost shell. Suppose if I have here, there is one electron nucleus, there is one electron. I'm applying energy and this ionization energy and pulling out this electron. That is ionization potential. Correct? Yes. Now, when it is electron affinity is what? It is energy change when a neutral atom attracts an electron. That means if there is a neutral atom, when it accepts an electron and X minus, and this energy, whatever change is there, this energy is nothing but electron affinity. Now, just check here. Electronegativity is ability to attract. Correct? No, but this is metal, isn't it? It's here this given plus. So this is not the option. Electron affinity of helium. Helium is a noble gas, correct? So helium, it's already filled. It will not attract any electrons. Ionization potential of magnesium. Magnesium is +2 state. That means all the things are ruled out. Only thing left is electron affinity of Na+. That means option A, ionization potential of sodium, where we are taking out one electron. Perfect. Electron affinity of sodium, where it is accepting one electron. Correct? No? So this and this numerically will be similar. Okay, students? Yes. So the first option, A option, is correct in this case. Okay. Now let us see the next question. Short question which you have. What are they asking? They are asking here, which of the following are found in biological fluids? Okay. Biological fluids, that is in our human body, in the fluids, which are the ions formed? What are they? They say sodium, magnesium, calcium, potassium, strontium, lithium and barium. Okay, right. Basically our fluid system, biological fluid system has. Right, students, let us come and see the next question. This is an important question where I have written the values already. Just check. Here, what did they give? First of all, okay, let me put this is not the option. Let us check. Which of the following are found in biological fluids? Like sodium, magnesium, calcium, potassium, strontium, lithium and barium. Basically, our blood or the biological fluid has both cations and anions. Okay, so sodium, the value of sodium existence in a blood body fluid is 136 molar equivalent per liter. So potassium value is so much, calcium value is so much, magnesium value also is so much. So basically, along with the cations, we also have anions present, right? So what are there? Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride and bicarbonate. So in this case, strontium, this is the wrong option. In this case, sodium, potassium are there, but calcium is not there, wrong option. So in the third case, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, this is the right option. Yes, students. So that means our biological fluids have the presence of both the cations and anions in this ratio. So the correct option is C option. Okay, let us read the next question. So this is the question and this is the trick which I have written here already. Just check. So always remember, if they ask you, this is the most important trick which you need to remember. Which of the following is not correct? So among alkali metals, lithium oxide is the only one metal oxide which does not decompose on heating. Okay, what is the reason? Just see. Whenever you're thinking about hydrides, normal oxides and halides, so always remember thermal stability is inversely related to size. That means as the size increases, thermal stability decreases. Correct? No. You can easily break the bond and you can heat it and form the respective compounds. Done. And thermal stability is directly related to electronegativity. If the electronegativity is more, it tries to drag the electrons towards itself. When it drags the electron towards itself, it's difficult for us, means with more temperature you need to break that bond and then just form the respective products. Correct? So remember these two things. Thermal stability is inversely related to size and thermal stability is directly related to electron negativity. Okay, let us see one more question. Right, let us read this question and understand what it is saying. Let us read this. Here, what did they say? The element of group 1 provide a color to the flame of the Bunsen burner. Okay. So, whenever they say color of the Bunsen burner, that means they're talking about excitation of electrons. Correct? No? So, when from the ground state, they go to the excited state. and during that time they absorb the frequency of the particular the visible spectrum and impart the color. Now they are asking the elements of group 1 provide a color to the flame of Bunsen burner due to what? Okay, concept I understood. So basically what is this? Low ionization potential, low melting point, softness, presence of one electron. Don't get confused between these two. Basically an electron from the ground state, it has to go to the excited state and then absorb the energy from the visible spectrum, and then it starts imparting that color. So for that, what do we require? Low ionization energy. If the ionization energy is low, I can pull out that electron. That electron will go from the ground state to the excited state. So the correct option is A is the correct option. Correct, students? Yes. Now let us see one more. So basically here, just check, I have listed out all the orders which we have, the trends which you have in the particular group 1 of the alkali metals as well as alkaline earth metals. So basically stability of hydrides. So what you should remember, whenever they give hydrides, what is important? Down the group we very well know size increases. Correct? Right? So what is happening down the group? Size increases. When the size increases, what will happen? Bond dissociation energy decreases. Correct? No. If the size is bigger, I can apply less amount of energy to or dissociate the bond. Yes, students? Yes, I can. Yes, so with less energy I can dissociate the bond and use it. Correct? Little bit I'll just zoom out the paper. Okay, so here remember, whenever we are trying to talk about order of hydrides, yes students, order of hydrides, when we are talking, I need to remember this concept, size. Okay, so size increases means bond dissociation. Ma'am, bond dissociation is how it is. So basically, if I have metal hydrogen bond like this, if the size is increasing, I can easily remove this hydrogen. Correct? I can easily remove this. But remember, stability decreases down the group. Always remember, stability decreases down the group because it is easy for me to remove this. So what is the order? Lithium hydride, more stable than sodium hydride, more stable than potassium hydride, more stable than cesium hydride. Yes, no? Just now we said size is higher, lesser energy, I can easily remove. So which is more stable? Lithium hydride. Which is less stable? Cesium hydride. Okay. Now ionic mobility. So this is for your bond dissociation enthalpy. So for ionic mobility, whenever they're asking, remember this concept. What is that? Smaller the size or size decreases, ionic mobility increases. Obviously, when the size is small, it can fastly, or the mobility or movement will be very, very fast, isn't it? So size is inversely related to your ionic mobility. Yes, students. So smaller ions, they quickly run in the this one field, and we calculate the transference number also. Correct. So according to this concept, what is the mobility order? If I have to see, lithium is a very small ion, isn't it? Aqueous will be, the size is smaller, mobility will be more. Again, sodium, size is smaller, mobility will be more. Greater than potassium, it is an aqueous solution, then only ions are formed, Greater than rubidium, greater than cesium. Okay, greater than cesium. This is perfect. So remember, size is smaller, more ionic mobility. Okay, yes students, done. Right. Now let us see this. Order of reactivity towards water. So basically the alkali metals, all metals react vigorously with water. Correct? No? So let us write all metals react vigorously with water. All the metals, they will react vigorously with water. So how is this order? Means how is this reactivity? It increases down the group. When we go, it increases when I go from top to bottom, this reactivity increases down the group. Right. So basic character. So on what is basic character depending upon? Remember, basically what is basic character? It's nothing but donation of OH minus ions. Correct? No, when something donates OH minus ion, I call it as more basic. So on what is this basic character depending? Just check. Remember this concept. What is that? As the size of cation increases. As the size of cation increases, what happens? The internuclear distance, the distance between them also increases. Size increases means distance also increases. So I am writing internuclear distance. It also increases. Okay. when it is increasing, this internuclear distance increasing, I can easily ionize it, easily ionizable. I can easily ionizable, and I can take out the OH minus ion. That means if the size of the cation is, I said larger, among the alkali metals, which one is larger? Yes, barium hydroxide. So barium hydroxide is larger in size. I can easily remove this OH minus ion. So this is more basic. Then comes strontium hydroxide. Why? Here this is more larger in size cation. I can easily remove. This is more than calcium hydroxide compared to magnesium hydroxide. That means as the size of the cation increases, it's easily remove. I can easily remove this OH minus and becomes more basic. So remember this trick. Yes, students. Now solubility order. So basically for solubility, whenever they're asking you solubility order in your alkali metals and this one, no? Just check. First of all, what trick you should remember? Always remember, if we have two things, on what does solubility depend? Solubility basically depends upon two factors. What are they? It's going to depend upon hydration enthalpy and lattice energy. Correct? No, these are the two factors, right? Hydration enthalpy and lattice energy decides whether the thing particular compound is soluble. Now compare both of them. Always remember, if the hydration enthalpy is more and the lattice enthalpy is less, then the compound is soluble. So what is the concept? If the hydration enthalpy is more and lattice enthalpy is less, then the molecule is soluble in nature. So among your alkali metals, if you take the order, how should you just see? The order is just like this: beryllium sulfate greater than magnesium sulfate, greater than, it goes on like that, beryllium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, calcium sulfate, then strontium sulfate, then barium sulfate. So order, remember, this is a concept. Here in this case, for beryllium sulfate, hydration enthalpy is more and lattice enthalpy is less. That's why it easily, the order is, they're going to be soluble, right? So here what happens is, when you are talking about the solubility order, just remember the concept, right? So what is it dissolving, how it's forming? Suppose if I take basically, the carbonates or bicarbonates, the concept will little bit change, because you are talking about how it is forming the bonds. Correct? No? Yes, students, right? Now let us see the next question. Same thing, little bit. What solubility of sulfates? Okay, if it is there, same concept of alkaline earth metals, same question repeated. So just see, you can just take, I am again writing beryllium sulfate greater than magnesium sulfate, same question, but I just wrote it. Okay, right, barium sulfate, that's fine. Okay, now increasing thermal stability. Okay, so here whenever you're talking about thermal stability, basically remember of which one? Of group 1 and 2 carbonates. Okay, so here carbonates, when you're taking, again beryllium carbonate lesser than magnesium carbonate, lesser than calcium carbonate, less than potassium carbonate. Okay, right. So basically, if you have to talk thermal stability, I told already, among the group 1 metals, alkali metals, lithium oxide is the only compound which we can't be thermally decomposed. Means using heat, I can't decompose that, right? That's the thing. And if it comes to the group 2 metals, we have written this order, right? So beryllium carbonate, magnesium carbonate. Why this is the thing? When you heat, or the carbonates, what happens as we go down from top to bottom, we very well know, when I heat carbonate, what is it going to happen? It will go to decompose into metal oxide, that is beryllium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Correct? No? Yes. So here this one, when I go down the group as this one, what is happening to the size? The size of the cation is increasing. Correct? Yes. Here this is most stable and this is least stable. So as the size of the cation increases, it easily dissociates into carbon dioxide gas and metal oxide. That's fine, students. Okay, done. So this is okay. But further, if you still want to understand, one trick we will write here. What are we going to write? as size increases of the metal atom, what will happen? Stability of carbonate decreases. This is okay. I'm putting in the box. Remember this for the carbonate. So if I have to say magnesium carbonate, it dissociates into magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. Simple. Okay. Now, solubility of sulfates. In which of the following the hydration enthalpy is higher than the lattice energy? Okay. They have given me this concept here. Okay. So here they're asking, I already said, wherever hydration enthalpy is more than the lattice energy, that particular compound is soluble. That is what we said, no? If the hydration enthalpy is more, let us write, hydration enthalpy is more than the lattice enthalpy, then only the particular compound is soluble. This is what we said. Now, here, when I see the sulfates, remember, always the trick which you should remember is high energy of solvation. High energy of solvation, that means basically when I take, let us assume I'm taking among all these, I'll mark the option. If I have to take this, I'll mark the option, 13th option is option A. Let us see how I can explain. Okay, yes. So when magnesium sulfate, when it dissolves in water, so what is happening? Sulfur is in the center, one oxygen atom here, one more oxygen atom here, one more oxygen here, one more oxygen here. Now you have your magnesium plus 2 ion, which is very close to the negative oxygen atom, correct? And all around you have hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. In this case, like this, hydrogen is there, isn't it? One hydrogen, hydrogen. So water, because they are dissolving in water, hydrogen bonds are all formed around. Now, what should you understand? Here, what happens? There is high energy of hydration, means it's going to high energy of solvation in this case, isn't it? So, what happens? The magnesium ion is pulled towards the negative oxygen atom, correct? So, what happens? Hydration enthalpy increases. Okay, solubility decreases, correct? In which case? In beryllium case. But here, in this case, hydration enthalpy is more than lattice energy. Why? The negative and the positive are together. Okay, that's why it is more soluble. Okay, let us see the next question, students. So little bit, I'll go to the next question and uses question, very important question. Uses is always asked. I'll just zoom it little bit for you all so that it's clear. Okay, so here they have given me match the following. Okay, in match the following concept, just check. Here they have given me compounds of sodium. They have given me uses. So nothing, simple. Always remember, this is a summary of all the concept which is there in your S block, that is your alkali metals. So just nothing to get confused. Sodium carbonate, when I have to take, it is used normally, we have studied, isn't it? So in sodium carbonate, it is always used to prepare glass soap. So sodium carbonate 2. Sodium chloride, if I have to take, okay, right? Sodium chloride, it is used to prepare, it forms a basic component of preparation of caustic soda, sodium carbonate, correct? No, sodium chloride. Now, when I take sodium hydroxide, in caustic soda, we use it for petroleum refining, correct? So sodium bicarbonate is a fire extinguisher because carbon dioxide is there. So I'll be using as a fire extinguisher, right? So among all these, A2, B3, C, C4 and D. So the option 1 is correct in this case. Yes, students, simple. All the uses are summarized in this form. Now, let us see the next question. Okay, this question, let me move the page. Okay, so let us read this question. This is clear, I think. Okay, so what is this question? Let us read. Right. So here in this question, they asked me, match the following with the color imparted in the oxidizing film. So here they have given the options, they have given the elements on this side, they have given the color, nothing, remember. So here cesium, the color of cesium, because color question compulsory they will ask you, isn't it? Yes, color question they will ask you. So cesium, when I see, the correct option of cesium is, it is blue in color. Cesium is blue. So rubidium is red violet. Okay, potassium is C, potassium is violet in color. Your sodium is yellow in color. Lithium, if you have to take, it is also violet in color. So the correct option is A option, which is there. So these are the colors which are shown in the oxidizing flame. Okay, now let us see next question of your S block. Right, let us read this. Here they have given which of the following statements is true or false. Okay, true and false, not or. True and false. Right. So here in the given statements, now let us read. The alkali metal hydroxides are strongest of all bases. Okay. So correct, no? What did we say? Smaller the size of the cation, correct? On when we go down from top to bottom, size is increasing means I can pull out the OH minus easily. So this option is correct. Next, all the bases, all the alkali metal halides have higher negative enthalpies of formation. This statement also is right, isn't it? Negative enthalpies of formation, because when you are trying to take out, because the size of the particular cation is very, very smaller, when I am trying to take out, they have very high values, isn't it? It's very difficult for me to pull out the this one, alkali metal halides, right? So next thing, stability of carbonates and bicarbonates of metal decreases with increase in electropositive character. No, this is wrong, isn't it? Yes, what did we say there? Metal stability of carbonate and bicarbonate of metal decreases, right, with increase in electropositive character. So electropositive character, if I have to say, metals are ability to donate the electrons, correct? No? Yes, right. So when from left to right, the electropositive character, it decreases, and on the right extreme means on the completely group 17, all these are highly electronegative. Okay, now they said stability of carbonate and bicarbonate metals decreases with increase in electropositive character. But first of all, here metals only they donate, correct? No, of carbonates, this is a false statement. Okay, now only lithium bicarbonate exists as solid. This is also a false statement. What is the thing, students? Tell me, among group 1, what are the physical states of your group 1 metals you have? Basically, when I see the physical state, smaller the size, correct? No, the smaller the size of those particular things. If I see the density of this one, what do you say, like lithium, or if I have to see the density of lithium, sodium, okay, potassium, rubidium. So normally when I see their properties, okay, as the size is increasing, so they said lithium bicarbonate only is solid. Not like that, isn't it? So they are this one remaining also as solids because of their smaller sizes. Okay, so the correct option is this one. Now let us take one more. Remember this is very important. I have written here for you all. So the topic is atomic and ionic radii of alkaline earth metals are smaller, correct, understood, than those of corresponding alkali metals in the same period. Why? Because the electron keeps adding to the same shell. This is fine. Second ionization energy of alkaline earth metals are smaller than those of corresponding metals of group 1, correct, because when I have to take out one electron from the particular 1s1, because group 1 elements, the configuration is only 1s1, so second ionization energy will be smaller only corresponding metals, because already 1 is there, I have to take out that electron. Okay, next, compounds of alkaline earth metals are more extensively hydrated than those of alkali metals. So these are the 3 important points which you have to remember, right? So apart from these short questions, let us take, or let us see one more important, or the concept which you should remember in inorganic chemistry. Let us write those. So what is the next concept? Let me turn the page. Just remember, greater the charge on the cation, more is its covalent character. Remember this. What is this? Greater the charge on cation, more is its covalent character. More is its covalent character. So how can I prove this? Basically, when you take beryllium, okay, chloride, greater than lithium chloride greater than NaCl. So in covalent character, when I say, we say greater the charge, beryllium is +2 charge, so more, this is more covalent, correct? No? Yes, so greater the charge on the cation, more is its covalent character. So cation charge is +2, +1, +1. Done. Okay, now let us take in terms of ionic sizes. So here always remember order of ionic size when I take. Okay, so normally you know I think, no, as the size increases from top to bottom. Okay, so the cationic size, how will you write? Suppose potassium, calcium, magnesium are there, you can see the atomic number and write the sizes, isn't it? That's easy. Okay, so that is one concept. Based on the atomic number you can write that. Right, now suppose as a charge on the cation increases, so what will happen? The Z effective increases, so atomic size decreases. That is one concept which you have to remember. Next, among, if you have to see the isoelectronic species, which have so same number of electrons, among isoelectronic species, so which have same number of electrons, what will happen? The ionic radii increases, correct? No? So ionic radii increases when it increases, whenever it increases, whenever negative charge increases. Ionic radii increases whenever negative charge increases. Let me take one example. Okay, why this negative charge increases? What will happen when the negative charge increases? The Z effective means the distance between, or the force of attraction from the nucleus, nuclear force of attraction, it decreases, correct? No? Yes. So right, let us see the question, students. Now they are asking you, find among the following, okay, among the following which are isoelectronic and isostructural, isostructural. That means simple. Let us take one example, one or two examples and see. So here they have given sets. First set is what? CO3 minus 2 and NO3 minus. One more set they have given is ClO3 minus and SO3 minus 2. One more set which they have given is ClO3 minus and CO3 minus 2. Now let's see. Here, first of all, how to calculate isoelectronic? First, calculate the number of electrons. In carbonate, count the number here. Carbon, atomic number 6. Here, oxygen 8, atomic number 8 3 is 24 electrons are there, plus extra 2. So how much it has come to? 32. Okay, now NO3 minus we will calculate. So in NO3 minus, atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Oxygen is 8. 8 3s are 24 plus 1. So total how many electrons? 32. So both are isoelectronic in nature. So here CO2 is sp2 hybridized, because 3 plus 1 4 bonds are there. Here 3 bonds are there. sp2 means 2 plus 1 3 bonds are there. This is also sp2. Now both are isoelectronic. If it is sp2, what is the type of shape? Trigonal planar. So this is trigonal planar. Done. Let us calculate for this. ClO3, atomic number of chlorine is 17. Oxygen is 8 3s are 24 plus 1. How many electrons? 42 electrons. If I take SO3 minus, sulfur is 16. Number of electrons, 8 3s are 24. Correct now? Yes, 24. And how many are there? Plus 2. So total 42 electrons. So this is also, this is what? 42, both are isostructural only. So sorry, isoelectronic, same number of electrons. Okay, this is also isoelectronic. Correct? Now if this is ClO3, what is the hybridization? 3 plus 1 4 are there, no? So sp3 hybridization. This is also sp3. Trigonal pyramidal. The shape is trigonal. This one planar. This is trigonal pyramidal. Let us see this. ClO3 and your CO3 minus. Okay. So here ClO3 17 plus 8 3 is 24 plus 1. 42 electrons for this. Okay, for carbonate, let us check. 6 plus oxygen is 24 plus 2, 32 electrons. So check here, this is sp3 hybridization. This is sp2 hybridization. So both are different. So this is the thing which is not isoelectronic because it doesn't have similar electrons, and not isostructural. Both are different. Why? sp3 hybridization means it is trigonal pyramidal. sp2 means it is trigonal planar. That's why. So this is from my side, students. So thank you so much for watching. I'll come up again with more questions. These are the short questions which you have to study. Don't skip them. Please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll come back with one more important set of questions for your NEET examination. This journey continues till your NEET examination. All the best, students.